Two V's in the box. Two V's in the box. Hey, so it's 201 of the V's in the box. You need to sit back, listen, and watch. Tune in and get some jewels in your crown. So you not ring that representing Beantown. I would never ever knock my sister down. All my ladies win and take a look around. All the negativity we can do without. Please subscribe and let us show you a different route.
Hey, it's me, B, aka Bunny the other V. When me and Hilda get together, it's so lovely. We talk about it, all the good, bad, and ugly. All except for drama, we don't do no shrubbery. Tune in and learn some new things. Leave a comment, let us know what the mood brings. We got that food and conversation for your soul now. Please go find your remote control so you can watch.
Two V's in a box. Two V's in a box. Two V's in a box. Two V's in a box.
In the box, baby!
Welcome back, Royals. Welcome back. We're back.
With another episode of Two V's in a Box.
Yes, in this episode, we are going to be talking about estate planning and wills. Things that you may think are a little boring, but trust and believe it won't be a boring conversation with the two of us. How can something be boring? So please make sure you like, make sure you comment, and make sure you
Subscribe and share.
and subscribe again and again and again. Again, welcome back. So, Bunny and I were talking about a lot of things. We talk about a lot of different things, and we were discussing the importance of wills and estate planning. Thank you. She's keeping me on track. And also insurance, life insurance, and the importance of life insurance. I and she differs with me, but this is where we feed off of each other. I feel like a lot of people ignore or maybe don't, and I get it because nobody wants to talk about life insurance. Nobody wants to think about dying or death, but I don't know anyone who gets out of here alive. If you do, please put it in the comments below and let me know if you know someone who has lived forever, because I don't know anyone. So that being said, definitely life insurance is really important. I have noticed myself a lot of like GoFundMe pages, and it's really, really sad. And death is hard. Never mind trying to now look for the funds to try to bury your loved one. Doing all of the things that have to be done. And there's a lot of red tape involved in when someone's dying.
Especially
a lot
under
of
stress.
planning. Yes, you're under stress. You're really upset. Now you got to go looking for ways to get the money to just bury this person. And a burial policy is not enough. It really isn't. And we need to do better at making sure that we are insured and securing for our loved ones. There's that such thing that's called the black tax, and we need to stop that. We need to stop leaving the black tax and start building generational wealth. We need to start remembering or realizing that once we're gone, our loved ones are still here. Realizing that whatever we think we're leaving to them, whether it be a house or what have you, if it's not paid off, you're not really leaving it to them. You're leaving them a bill. So which means you need to have life insurance for a number of different reasons, but definitely so that your loved ones can be taken care of, so that you can be buried or cremated or whatever your plans are. You really need to make sure that you invest in life insurance. It's really, really important. And there are two different types. You've got the term life, and then you've got the whole life. And Brandy will talk a little bit about that. We are not insurance agents. We're not trying to sell you insurance. Again, we are here because you put jewels in our crowns, and we're putting jewels in your crowns. And this is probably something that you already know about, and that's okay. But if you know about it, you know what? Hey, two V's, we're talking about this, and They thought it was important to talk about, so let me talk about it with someone else. If you already know about it, pass it on to someone you love. Ask them in a just conversation, hey, you got life insurance? I have my cynical thoughts when it comes to life insurance and how I think a lot of problems can be solved, but I won't go into my own personal thoughts on why we should have life insurance, but I don't want to get dark and so personal, but it definitely is something that we need to think about. And I know you and I were talking about the difference between the term and the whole.
So let me start by saying that I do agree that life insurance is a very real conversation, and it is a tough conversation, but it's also a life conversation. And although there has been a lot of talk about life insurance and building generational wealth and just learning to keep your affairs in orders, especially in the Black community, because in the past we've had a lot of struggle and ignorance and just, a lot of uneducated folks who just don't know about these type of things, and no one taught them these type of things generally are passed down, knowledge passed down from parents, grandparents,
each one teach one,
people you come across in life. But not everyone comes across people like that in life. So just a little knowledge that we want to share, and encouraging, hopefully, even if we encourage one or two people to look into life insurance, it's a win for us. So
that's right.
So shout out to those of you who have life insurance, who are in the process of looking into life insurance, and who have educated themselves about life insurance. It sounds really intimidating, but it's really not. I mean, the bottom line is there's two different types of life insurance. One is term and one is whole life. Whole life is usually a little more per month. However, it covers you for the term of your whole life. So if you die at 39 or 109, you're still covered. Term life, it gets tricky because people see that you get more life insurance for less money. But that's where it gets a little tricky. Because although you may be able to get $300,000 worth of life insurance for maybe only $40, on term insurance, there's a cutoff date. So if you don't expire, we'll say, for lack of better words, if you're still alive and their term date is 79, then once you hit your 80th birthday, you are no longer covered with life insurance. So you've poured all this money into life insurance, and then it's no longer valid once you hit that date. And it's different age. Once you get that age, and it's different ages with different companies.
Read your fine print.
So it could be 79, it could be 80, it could be 90. Different companies have different termed ages. Also, with term life insurance, what people don't realize is that it increases with some companies either every 5 years or every 10 years. So yeah, you might start off at let's say $8.90 a month, but as the time goes on, like with the life insurance that I have, every 5 years it increases. So it might be $8.09 now, but then in 5 years, when I'm 40, I'm not 40, but just for this sake, 45, it's gonna jump up another $8 a month. So you got to be careful and make sure you pay attention to the terms of things too, and don't be scared to ask questions. Consult with people who might know. Call Boston Legal Services in your town, and just get direction if you need it. Also, it really does kind of help with the stress that's left on your family. Like, some people are really inconsiderate and they're like, oh, when I'm dead and gone, just throw me in the box. Like, but that's not a reality. Somebody has to take care of your expenses. So why not, why not get insurance and make it easier on your loved ones? The earlier in age that you get insurance, the less it is per month. So let's say I put insurance on my kids at, let's say, 10 years old. That rate that we get at 10 years old, that's the rate per month for the entire policy on whole life. It never increases. So even with age, now let's say at 30 you just get life insurance for the first time. It depends on now if you smoke, if you have any pre-existing health conditions, and all these other things that you probably didn't have at 10 years old necessarily. Now, based on that and your age, now you, instead of starting at, let's say, $8.09, you might be starting at $22 or $31. So it's definitely a benefit to get life insurance as early as you can on yourself or a loved one. And talk to your kids about it. Make it a conversation, like on the way to school, or just, when you're sitting around the living room, just, have those kind of conversations.
Your mate, whomever your love interest is, whoever you're with, especially if you are married, husbands and wives you should definitely have this conversation, and you should definitely have this in place. It's just a really sad thing when I see, and you have to do what you have to do. I get it. But when I see, GoFundMe pages for people trying to bury loved ones, that's a lot. That's a lot. And that's not something that you want, to happen. You want to leave, and maybe you can't leave hundreds of thousands of dollars, but, at least enough to have, your
proper burial service.
Right, proper burial. And so that it's a burial that your family members and love, right. And also that they're not breaking the bank in order to give it to you. So now they can't pay their bills in the next 6 months because you passed away.
Especially because death is so untimely. Like, you shouldn't put off today. You shouldn't put off what you can do today till tomorrow, because tomorrow's never promised. It's very important to...
things are happening every day. We have people dying younger and younger. It's really sad, and it's not... Again, it's not a conversation that anyone wants to have. It's definitely not a conversation that the two bubbly ones wanted to have with you. But like we said, we are here to share knowledge, put jewels in your crown, have you put jewels in our crown. And so that sometimes means that we're going to talk about some things that are not so fun, and we're not going to boing each other on the head like we all do in other episodes. This one is a little bit more of a serious topic, but a topic that needs to be had. Most definitely. So like we said, we know it can be a morbid conversation, and you're like, oh my God, I don't want to think about my death. I don't want to think about my morbidity. I don't want to think about things like that. But again, if you love someone, if you love your children, if you love your loved one who's with you, whatever, then you should want to definitely do this. On top of having the life insurance.
Wait, before we switch topics, let me just add this. It's also important to let your loved one know what kind of life insurance policy you have and with who, especially if they're beneficiaries on your policy. Because once you pass on, they won't even know where to begin to look for a policy for you. So just like in my situation, I have 2 policies, one for my husband, one for my kids. And I sent my kids each the policy number, who it's with, their phone number, just so that in the event of my expiration anytime soon, they would have access to the information, because they don't, you know what I mean? Like, they're not going to be thinking clear and all that. So everyone has it.
And that actually brings me to that's a good point. Making sure everyone has. So that brings me to the estate planning. I realize and I know that sometimes the word estate planning, it says, it suggests I have a lot of money. So you say, Hildy, what are you talking about? Estate planning? I don't have an estate. I don't have any money. Look, that is part of what Brandy said is part of estate planning. And you need to make sure that you have your estate. You do an estate plan. And what basically that is having a will, having a trust, having a power of attorney, having a health care directive. And I'll explain all of those. When you have, obviously, you know what a will is. We all should have or should be thinking about having a will. You're going to see me look down a little bit because I made sure that I just gave myself a few notes just so that I can keep on track. You see in the beginning of the video, Brandy had to keep me on track. I'm kind of off today, but and also I don't like speaking about this subject, but I know how important it is. So you'll see me look down a little bit because I'm looking at my notes.
Same.
But like I said, wills, we all know what a will, is. A trust is basically, it's just a legal arrangement of all of your assets and your beneficiaries. So you're saying this is how much I have and this is who it's going to. And that's what your trust does. You need to have a power of attorney, and that's someone that you designate to handle all of your financials. So should you become incapacitated, you need someone who's going to handle your financials. And that's where having a power of attorney is important. And then you have your healthcare directives. So your power of attorney, like I said, handles your finances. And then there's two parts of that. So with your healthcare directives, you have the power of attorney, and then you have your proxy. So your proxy handles your medical, in case, should you become incapacitated, so they handle the decision making on whether you should be
let go,
disconnected, or put on life support or whatever. That's what your proxy does.
And if you can no longer speak, they'll speak on your behalf.
Absolutely. Okay.
What basically they will advocate for what you what they will advocate your wants for your medical care
and your needs. Absolutely.
Your needs.
So you have your living will. You would write, you have your living will, and these are the things that I want to have happen, and all of that, and they will carry those out. If you do not appoint anyone as your power of attorney or as your proxy, then the state will do that for you. And it may be someone that you don't want. So you want to make sure that you're making these decisions for yourself, which also brings me to, when you talk about someone you don't want, part of your estate planning is also your beneficiary designation. And that's really important. Your beneficiary designation should be looked at and reevaluated at least once a year. And I say this because things change.
People die.
People change. People die. Situations change. If you did your will, your estate planning, your beneficiary, everything. What? Sorry. Oh, she's about to sing another song that's going to cost us money.
Change.
We don't even need to hear that song, y'all. We don't need to hear that song.
Y'all know what I'm talking about, though. That Drake.
Y'all know.
Shout out to Drake.
Yeah. But yeah, your beneficiary designation is important to make sure that you are just looking it over at least once a year. Things change. Like Brandy said, people change. People pass away. You may not be in communication with certain people anymore. If you have and I can speak from experience on this one, most definitely. You can write your will 20 years ago, and here we are 20 years forward, and those people, some of them have moved on. Whether they've died or they just moved on out of your life, that is going to those are the people that are going to be put in place, because those are the people that you wrote in, in your living will, and it supersedes. Your beneficiary designation supersedes your will. So if you say, I want, Mary Jane and Alice to get all of my money, and then Mary and Jane are no longer in your life, but, for whatever reason, they didn't die or whatever, but they're just no longer in your life, Mary Jane and Alice are going to get whatever you had designated to them. Again, your beneficiary designation supersedes your will. Please, please, please remember that. Again, not a good conversation, not a fun conversation, but an important conversation. We all know that most things that are easy aren't worth it. Things that are difficult are usually the ones that are worth it. Those are the conversations that we have to have. And like Brandy says, we have all types of people, and we hope all types of people are watching our channel, but definitely in the Black community, we really, the Black and Latino community, we need to start paying attention to these things.
And the young people
we
of all
need
races.
All races, all ages. We need to start paying attention to these things. It's unfortunate. There are, every time you turn on television or you look at Facebook, you see that some young person or somebody has passed away, which is exactly why it's really, really important that we pay attention to these things. Again, I know nobody wants to do that, but you really need to do it. It's very, very important.
Two other things I wanted to emphasize is, when it comes to wills and estate planning, a big important piece of that is delegating a guardian if you have minor children. It's very important that you put that in writing. If you have children who depend on you for their care, also talk about in your will and estate planning how you want things divided amongst them. The estate planning actually helps with the process of delegating different assets and stuff, because it's already in writing, and it speeds up the process because the probate court doesn't have to get involved. So
and you don't want them to get involved.
It takes forever.
It can take years.
It takes forever.
And then they also take a chunk of the money or whatever you're leaving. Income, they're gonna take it.
Yeah, they'll take estate taxes and or regular income taxes. So you really want to try to avoid getting the courts
anyone
and stuff involved, because then also that becomes public record and other people can see. So now you have a loss of privacy. Your business is accessible to anybody who wants to look it up. So get your affairs in order.
Get them in order.
Figure out who's going to handle and carry out your wishes. 3 things. Life insurance. Get your affairs in order as far as what happens with the split. If you have life insurance policies, assets, bank account, houses, guardianship for your children. Very important. It makes for a less mess. Too many families have big falling outs over money and property once the loved one is gone. Just make it easy on your family and have everything spelled out if you can.
The holidays are coming. Unfortunately, 2 things. One, of course, the holidays coming. You're thinking gifts and this and that and the other. If that's your thing, if you believe in Christmas or what have you, Kwanzaa, whatever it is, we know that usually around the holidays, that's when a lot of really sad things happen too. So I say, for the holidays, give yourself a Kwanzaa gift or a Christmas gift, and get yourself some life insurance. Give yourself a gift and sit with an attorney and do your estate planning.
That's what I was going to say. Don't be scared to call legal services.
Right.
We have a free legal services. We have free legal services firms here in Boston and around a lot of other cities and states. So use those services. That's what they're available for.
Absolutely.
Attorneys can be pricey. You can drop your own will and just get it notarized. But if you have someone that can look it over for you, a lawyer, I mean, some people don't have the money, and that's fine. You do the best you can. But getting a lawyer will be a little more pricey, but it also covers you and gives you peace of mind and good guidance and on what, your options as far as will and estate planning and how to delegate and navigate around that. So
having an attorney, what you get what you pay for. Sometimes when you go, like Brandy alluded to, with the term life and the whole life, you're getting something way cheaper, but you're not getting something that may benefit you if you live to be 80, 90, 100 years old.
It's
and
really
we
a
hope
gamble.
that you do.
It's like crack taking.
Yeah, it really is. So, it's you.
Because once you get to 90, I'm like, dang, man. Dang!
I'm happy I'm alive, but
damn, my insurance is gone. So I ended up getting
$50,000 that I've paid already in insurance.
I have both term insurance and I have a whole life insurance. I ended up just getting both.
Because that's a Virgo thing to do. We check.
In case I die early, you get a bigger chunk. But in case I don't die early, and then if I die before the term, I get both. Well, I don't get it. My family gets it.
However many policies you have, that's however much, it's going to be spread, and again, that you don't want to leave. That's, again, going into estate planning. You don't want to leave that to the state. You don't want to leave that to them taking all the money that you've been putting in and deciding who to give it to. And then they're going to take their big, huge chunk of whatever they
always
need.
Do.
Exactly. First. Okay? And then when they take their chunk first, guess what? Your family, friends, loved ones, whoever you may in death be thinking you wanted to have stuff, they could be waiting years. Because you already know, when people owe you money, you're going to wait. If you owe them money, you're going to get a call.
You're on your back.
Every single day. Okay? So just for yourself, again, we didn't want to bring you anything sad and morbid today, but we definitely want to make sure that we're putting a jewel in your crown. You probably already know about this. If you don't, then we're happy that we helped one or two people. If you do, then pass it on, just like we're doing. Pass it on. Have conversation.
And share the video.
Share the video. Please let people know. Say, you know what? I don't want to bring this up. Even if you don't want to bring it up. You can say, I was watching this video. 2 V's in a box and they were talking about this. Let's just watch this together. And that'll, I guess, strike up the conversation. Again, we're going to be around family and friends. The holidays are coming. And yes, we want to talk about all of the great stuff. But we also want to talk about the real stuff. You're going to be around your grandparents, maybe
deaths around the holidays.
Uncles. That's what I said. There's a lot of sadness, comes around the holidays. And so we didn't want to bring this to you close to the holidays, but close enough so that you can have it in the back of your mind when you're going to be visiting with your family, seeing people you haven't seen in a long time, maybe your grandma, having these conversations. Where is your policy located? Where can I find it in the house? Is there someone designated or someone that you designated to know where exactly your strong box is? If you put all of your paperwork in a strong box, that person knows exactly where to go instead of, because again, when you're in grief, having to figure out, oh my goodness, how are we going to pay for this? And is there a policy? And what can I do? And, I understand that I have been through this over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And it's not fun.
And if you have final wishes, some people don't want to have a service. They just want to be cremated. Some people prefer to be cremated and not buried. It's time to have conversations where you know what it is your loved ones would like carried out.
Yeah,
when they
what you
pass
want
on.
carried out. I know what I want carried out.
Are there
I
any
know.
specific funeral homes you want to use?
Right, exactly.
Is there a
all
specific
of it.
color?
Your songs.
Yeah.
What songs do you want played?
Because I got
You
mine
know?
picked.
I have
I'm
all of
going
my.
up
I know it sounds more.
yonder.
Hey.
I'm going up yonder.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going up to be with my Lord.
Hey.
Yay.
Yay! Standing ovation.
I'm not a singer, but I'm a dancer. No, sorry.
No, yeah, we have to make some light. See, I told you, we're just goofy. We're goofy, and we like being goofy. And yes, we're going to make some light, put some light into this heavy subject. Absolutely.
Dance. I have the tambourine.
I have a specific song. Actually,
Celebrate my life. Yay. Hey.
Hey.
I want y'all to get up.
Going up yonder.
Well, no, they're going to play that. They're going to play that before. And then while people are feeling all sad,
going up
then they're going to end it like, hey, and they're going to start getting the Holy Ghost. And
that's what they're going to do?
Yeah, girl. I want them to celebrate. Celebrate. Yeah.
Well, that's how I feel. I want you to celebrate that I am now with my Maker.
Yes.
And happy. And that's why I have my songs picked out.
And
I do
dance.
have my songs. And not
Do
all
line
of
dances.
them. Yep.
Dance to some soca.
Oh, boy.
I want
she
it
wants
all
of that.
I want a party. Because you know I party in life. I'm a party in death too. Party. Y'all be playing the wobble. Y'all know I'm like, wobble, baby.
Wobble,
hey,
wobble,
stomach
wobble,
and boobs
hey,
moving like,
hey. Yeah, right. We're going to be wobbling. No. But I remember in high school, and if she watches this, she's going to know exactly who I'm talking to. Every time I say, you remember what song I want, she always says to me, Hilda, I really hope you have this written down. I really hope you told somebody else. And one of the reasons is, one, because she's like, I'll probably be too stricken in grief. But the main reason, and it's a really valid reason, is I go and say this song because it's not, I am very spiritual. I have tons of, songs that I do definitely want played, but one of them is not at all, not even close to a spiritual song. But the words in the song, and it's a Janet Jackson song, and I want this song played, and I want it played for everyone there. So this is basically going to be me speaking to all of my loved ones who are at my services, if anybody goes. No, I'm kidding. Who are at my services. This is going to be the song that I want to sing to them. And so she's like, this song is kind of, because again, it's pop, kind of poppy, I guess, maybe, if you want to call it that. So she's like, your family's going to look at me like I'm crazy. We're not playing that song at her funeral. So make sure. So again, since high school.
How come you're not drinking?
Okay, I'll have a drink.
Your throat sounds dry.
Thank you. My throat is dry. Thank you, see? You put my crown on my head. She got my crown. She fixed it for me. She thank you. So yeah, definitely I do have that written down because I do want that song played, and I want it played because it's the song that I am saying, it's the words that I'm saying to everyone there. So it's really important to me. But if I don't have it written down, I guarantee that it won't be played because most people are not going to play anything besides like what she said. I'm going up yonder.
Hey.
But ain't nobody. I love that song. I love, it's to take me to the King, and of course, definitely, there's a lot of songs that I have that I definitely want played, but that one in particular, since I was maybe 16, 17, it's been my wish and desire to have that song played for my loved ones.
Have me crying. What are we going to talk about next?
So, I'm not even going to tell. Why I'm going to have you crying?
I'm over it. Go get life insurance. Go plan your estate. Go designate your beneficiaries. Don't look at my messed up nail because I overslept and didn't make it to the nail salon. Just, you know what I'm saying? Just take care of your business. If you need some referrals, we got some resources. We know some
folks.
We can connect you to get your questions answered.
Yes. We're not attorneys. We're not insurance agencies.
We just have a little knowledge that we want to sprinkle.
Because it's called Each One Teach One. So we sprinkle a little, put a little gem in your crown. And like she said, she's over it, and I am too. I was just really trying to let you guys know the importance of it. But I was over it when we started. And I know you're over it too, but don't be so over it until you get it done.
And on that note,
Two B's in a box. Two B's in a box,
baby.
We love you. We love you. Please
Until
make
next
sure,
time.
yes, share, like,
subscribe, and comment.
Subscribe, comment. And let us know, as we always say, let us know in those comments if there's something else you want to hear us talk about. You know, we've got an array of subjects coming up.
Or you can email us because some of y'all got some wild stuff.
And listen, and it's all, you know, we're not going to say your name. We're not going to say your name. Don't worry about that.
At all.
You know, at all. We don't, again, we don't do messy. We don't do messy.
That's corny.
That's messy. I got OCD. I like cleanliness. I can't deal with the messy. And she says it's corny. Messy and corny don't mesh. So we're not going to do that. So we want you to feel comfortable.
She's going to keep talking. 2 V's in a box. 2 V's in a box. In a box, baby!
That was dope. Oh, goodness. Thank you for shutting me up because, yo.
Have a good episode.
Thank you. Oh, June's going to have fun with that one.